Hi there, and welcome to today's lesson on the way of Buddha. This class has been a great opportunity for me to be able to delve into Eastern practices and the belief system, which is something that I haven't had much opportunity to build on. This course has been great in helping me elaborate on some of the deeper teachings that I didn't know before from basic classes, and I've had a great privilege from studying from a monk as my professor, so I've enjoyed that, and I've also enjoyed being able to go to the temple and to see great practices in place. One of the topics that I want to close this up with for this semester with as my final will be the way of the Buddha, which sounds pretty broad, but it will all make sense because, following his footsteps contains many different actions and mindset, and it's hard to limit it to just one way, such as the enlightenment, because not everyone strives for enlightenment. Not everyone's belief is in enlightenment. However, many can look to the Buddha's example and follow and find themselves filled with separation from suffering as well as separation from uh, worldly attachments. Now, I, Ian Gopinath, declare I have no conflicting interest that would interfere with my study and presentation on the way of Buddha. I am committed to research in an unbiased and comprehensive way, and I will disclose if something were to arise to affect the integrity of this research. Now, we'll be going over who the Buddha is, his four sights that he received that changed the course of Siddhartha Gautama's life, the Eightfold Path, the foundational principles of this faith and of this lifestyle, meditation, ethical conduct, five precepts which goes hand in hand with that ethical conduct, compassion, and non-harm, the guiding principle, which is karma, which is the cause and effect which guides the rules of the universe to encourage, motivate, and also instill some fear into people. Uh, we'll be covering over the study and reflection, teaching and discourse, the noble silence, gatherings, and application. So, who was the Buddha? Well, the Buddha was a title, or known as the Enlightened One, which was earned by Siddhartha Gautama. He was an Indian prince who lived in ancient India, close to Nepal, and he was born in a royal family, and he was known for being sheltered. He didn't see any suffering, he didn't see any aging, he didn't see many different things that people on a day-to-day basis would see. His father protected him from that. And so he saw the four sights, which we'll go over in a little bit. This would revolutionize his mind, transform his life, and lead him into a different path than anyone could imagine. And he would become enlightened, and he would be from henceforth known as the Buddha. Now, the four sights was when Buddha Siddhartha Gautama had left his palace to go out and venture and to see the world, and he saw a man that was very old and suffering from this old age. Um, and it came to his knowledge that this was a normal way of life, that aging was something that everyone would have to face. He would see the sick person and the person that was suffering disease and illness, and understand that that's also a normal part of life that everyone at some point will endure, or a loved one of theirs will. He encountered someone that had lost their life, and not only that person losing their life, but the pain that the individual's family would have for losing their loved one. And then he met an ascetic man who was striving to separate from all of these attachments, and he himself would end up becoming an ascetic and living that life. However, he would change some things up and revolutionize the way of the Buddha. Now, what did he exactly give up? I mean, to think about it, why would one go in pursuit of truth? I mean, he had a great life. He was living in luxury. He had everything you can imagine that you needed at the time. He had family, he had wealth, power. He could have had a lineage of great kings, but he chose to follow ultimate truth. And that would mean leaving these materialistic things in pursuit of the non-material, which was much deeper and which is within us. Now, the Eightfold Path, which goes over the right view, One could say their perspective, one could say their empathy towards others' perspective, right intention meaning doing things with the right motives, right speech meaning speaking with pure and also non-trashy conduct, doing the right things, which would be right actions. So making sure your actions are correct, right livelihood, which is kind of a consisting of all of these things. Right effort, meaning you're putting the right amount of effort into all that you do. Right mindfulness, meaning you're staying present in the moment so you can take in and appreciate the things that are in front of you. Right concentration, which would also go hand in hand with mindfulness, but focusing. And some ways that you can put this to practice, you must do the Buddhist meditation because practicing these meditations will help you develop mindfulness, help you develop empathy and love to reflect on these different things, which is what Buddhists seem. They seek to reflect, to understand, to learn, to follow the ways of Buddha, who would be a great teacher to many and would do so through his deep meditation, through discovering the truth. Now, to follow Buddha does not just require to simply meditate and just to scratch off to scratch off the T's and to dot your I's. It takes a lot of effort. Um, and one can do surface level materials and one can meditate. However, conduct, ethical conduct, meaning how you carry yourself, building your virtues that would help keep you away from hurtful actions that would hurt others. And to do so, it takes research. You have to build its foundational values to build on top of. It comes with rules and regulations. And, some of key figures in history that I know were ethical models would be Siddhartha Gautama or Buddha and Jesus as well, but we're speaking mainly of Buddha today. He would go through suffering on behalf of others so that they themselves would not have to suffer. He held himself in such a way that he could be an example for others as well. And here are some of those ethics that we can hear. And it would be refraining from taking a life. And now, when it says from taking a life, this doesn't just mean human life, this means all creatures. And many Buddhists are adamant about not even killing the smallest of insects, even if they might pester you. Um, they take that because they view all life as being equal. Um, and they're also against stealing. So whatever was not yours, you do not go out of your way because the behavior that leads that would be greed and covetousness. And also refraining from sexual misconduct. So this can be, premarital sex, especially for young people, and also be rape, adultery, and so forth. A lot of horrible things done in the act of sex and lust. And the Buddha was getting to the root of these issues with sexual misconduct. But also be talking about refraining from false speech. This would be such as lying, bearing false witness, things that spread like poison in society and in communities. And speaking of poison, he also speaks on intoxicants, meaning that you stay away from intoxicants that would cloud your mind. This could be like drugs, this could be alcohol, anything that would pollute your mind, your mindfulness, your judgment, which would only serve to lead you away from the path you're seeking to escape. So that's something that we got to keep in mind is that, you might be looking to party, you might be looking like, hey man, I'm so young, I've got so many great things I can still do. Well, the Buddha says that there are far greater things in pursuit of. Again, not everyone is ready for this path, right? This is something for people that want to make a change in their lives, that want to pursue enlightenment. This is what they follow. And that goes hand in hand with karma, which we'll be going over in part two. So stay with me, and I will be with you shortly. Thank you.